Hey guys, this is Steph Sanity and welcome back to another bullet journal setup for the month of September 2018. I'm just sorting through some of my supplies here. I have a lot of earthy tones that I'm using. I'm using the Arteza Real brush pens, a couple pencils, an eraser, and a couple fine liners. All of this will be linked down below. They're affiliate links with Amazon for the most part, so if you purchase through my links, you're supporting my channel as well, which I greatly appreciate. The two main colors that I used were a teal and a orangey color, and I kind of wish I would have stuck with a brighter blue and a peach like I did for some of my just practice lettering that I did earlier in the last couple weeks. So I kind of wish I would have stuck with that color scheme, and these Real brush pens are pretty amazing. They're some of my favorites. If you watch my other videos, then you know that. Okay, so starting out with the title page, I'm writing September super large across both pages. And this is the orange color that I was talking about that is a little too orange for my liking, at least for this month. I wanted to go for more of a peach tone, so if you have one of those, I recommend using it because I think it looks really good with the blue combined. But I guess if you were to give this setup a theme, I would say it's like big and bold. I did like super chunky lettering throughout all the spreads. I noticed on camera it's looking a little bit like the page is warping, like the brush pens are a little bit too watery for the paper, but it's not the case. You'll see when I flip the page that it didn't leak through to the other side. The Arteza brush pens are great for your bullet journal because it's like the perfect consistency, not to weigh down the paper or leak through. So I'm taking a little bit of a darker orange and just coloring in some of the middle of the letters just to add a little bit more contrast, a little bit more dimension, I guess. And I think that looks really nice. It definitely needed a little bit of something as well as outlines, and I skipped the highlights because it kind of looks like a natural highlight since the tops and the bottoms of the letters are lighter. I thought that came together really well. I'm using my Tombow Budenosuke pen to do some of the shadowing, and it actually provided a really cool effect because the pen is dying. I do have a backup that I'm going to switch to shortly, but I kind of like this washed out kind of brush stroke look that it gave. Then I went with a smaller fine liner. This is the Faber-Castell extra small size pen, and I'm using that to just add some extra lines in there just to give like another cool effect over top of the shadows, and I really like how that came out. And then typically on the title page, I incorporate a reference calendar at the bottom just so I can flip to it. But lately, at least, I haven't been using it so much, so I thought it would be better to go with just writing 2018, keeping it simple at the bottom, and just keeping the same sort of style for the lettering, using a couple blue shades kind of to introduce the other colors that I planned on using throughout these spreads. So just kept it simple with that, added a little bit of shadowing once again, and then we're done with the title page and flipping to the first spread. Also doing something a little bit different. I'm going with weekly spreads first, and I'm doing this one very different than I normally do. I usually don't do my weekly spreads in my monthly setups because I'm not exactly sure how I want to track all of that, especially because a lot of times I have like a monthly overview page where I track a lot of just my basic plans, and then week to week I don't really know what I'm doing. But this time's going to be a little bit different. I thought I would cut out a lot of that extra stuff because I would like to go right in and start filling out my weeks. Once again, just trying to keep everything simple and not so redundant, and just making everything super efficient. So I'm just writing week 1 at the top and just adding the same sort of style that you saw on the title page. Underneath of that, I'm putting at a glance just because I want to put the weekdays right underneath of that and just do like my, I guess, like bigger plans or appointments, stuff like that. Beside that column, I'm just writing out the weekdays, and since I write so small, it's like the perfect amount of space for me. But I'm going to write more detailed plans or kind of use it like a logbook, which is pretty much writing what I did for the day after the fact, so when I go back in the future I can see exactly what I did during those days. Now especially you can see why I said my theme is kind of big and bold, because a lot of this page is taken up just by writing out the weekdays and the dates. It's just like big chunky lettering and numbers, and I kind of like that because I do have separate journals that I keep for my daily writing. So to save some time here, I did this same style spread 3 more times to finish up the month, so I did 4 weekly spreads total. And then moving on to the next sort of spread, this is going to be my healthy habits spread. I'm doing this in place of a habit tracker because I'm basically just going to do calligraphy to write out all the habits that I want to use on a daily basis, and then I'll flip to it each day to remind myself to incorporate those habits into my daily life rather than doing a chart and checklist. I just think that that's too much to keep up with right now. I wanted to kind of keep it fun, so I'll go back in and fill that in later, and I might do that in a separate video, so let me know if you guys want to see that. I did that before. It was just filling out my journal for a week, so I can repeat that if you guys are interested. And then after that, I'm doing my mood tracker. This is going to be a chart, but since it's so simple and easy to fill out, that I am going to stick with my usual format. But I am leaving out the weekly summary. If you haven't seen me do that in previous videos, I highly recommend trying that out for yourself because it's super useful. I love going back and reading the ones that I filled out in the past months. So I probably will incorporate that again next month. But for now, I just want to make it super easy for me to use. So I wrote the dates down the left-hand side of the page, and then along the top, I wrote the percentages because I'm just going to do a bar graph. The next 2 pages I'm going to use for 4 different sections. The first one here is going to be my monthly goals, and I'm just basically going to write out either a bullet style list or a paragraph, just writing out my goals for the month, of course, business-wise and personal, just mixed. And then underneath of that, I'm doing a section for affirmations, which is just a little bit more of some self-development sort of things and habits. Then on the next page, I'm doing home projects and work projects. So if I were to do a separate video, like I mentioned earlier, to fill out my healthy habits spread, I could also fill out these spreads on camera as well, but that would take way too much time for this video. And also I want to sit down at separate times to fill these out to make sure that I'm really accurate with my true goals. Next page that I'm going to do is YouTube ideas, and this is super useful for me because I have tons of ideas that hit me at the most random times. I need to start documenting them because I forget later on and it kills me. If you don't have a YouTube channel, then you can just substitute this for maybe creative ideas because I think everybody could benefit from that. So that's just an idea to throw out there for you guys. Alright, now I saved the best for last. I'm so excited about this spread. I have so many ideas to fill this up. I already have a running list in my phone that I'm going to start jotting down in the spread as soon as possible. So I separated this spread into 3 columns. The first one is read, the second one is listen, and the third one is watch. So this is where I'm going to write all the books I want to read, podcasts and songs I want to listen to, movies and series I want to watch. So that is the last spread and the most exciting in my opinion, but let me know what your favorite spread was for this month and if you have any ideas for spreads that I should include in future months. Just flipping through really quickly so you can see all the spreads together. You can definitely see how much I love brush lettering. That is the focus of the spreads. I really hope you guys got something out of this video and enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you did, and subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video.